So a couple of lighthearted topics. It's been 25 years. 25 years of Midnight Marauders. 25 years of Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. Hold on, let me double check this. Before I say it, I don't want to be wrong.
I mean, I could tell you.
No.
I'm like, shit, I can just tell you.
All right, no. 25 years of Carlito's Way.
Never seen it.
You never seen Carlito's Way?
No.
What?
Seen some
Damn, son.
I
saw the ending of it.
You done fucked up everything. But, all right, and the last thing that's 16 years old, 'cause I know some of y'all ain't Eminem fans, but 8 Mile dropped 16 years ago.
Wow, that's crazy.
But in terms of pop culture age, I mean, Kofax, I would probably go to you first, and maybe even AD. Like, Midnight Marauders and Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, what did that mean when that shit came out?
All right, well, let me tell you the story.
Because for me, I love... All right, no, wait. Before you get into that, favorite Wu-Tang moment was in ODB, hopped on the Grammys and was like, yo, Wu-Tang is for the children.
Man. Yo, I've said that so many times and people thought I was crazy.
He did it before Kanye. He went on stage and was like...
He said, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, and the family, y'all cool, y'all good, y'all chill. But Wu-Tang's for the children, man. That shit was
And they are.
And he announced he bought a whole outfit.
Yeah.
To win this award, and he didn't get, but it was cool.
And it's crazy because doesn't ODB got like 12 kids or 13 kids or something crazy like that? He got like a ridiculous amount of kids, right?
Yeah.
I think his son, who's kind of replacing him right now, is
Yeah,
called
while they're on tour.
YDB.
A young dirty bastard.
While they on tour, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, I mean, all right, so let's take you back to like...
And the music still...
I mean, look, man, that was transformative. You know, like that was the year I graduated from high school and went off to college to Howard University. So in every dorm, 93?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every dorm, every room at campus at Howard University was playing back in the days when I was a teenager, before I had status and before I had a page, and you used to find the abstract, listening to hip hop. My father used to say, it reminded me of bebop. I said, Daddy, don't you know that things go in cycles? You know what I'm saying? Every dorm was playing that joint. And it was ridiculous, son. Like, I don't know if that happens today.
Nah.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, because music is so ephemeral now that it comes and it goes. Somebody drops something on SoundCloud. Yo, you heard the new joint, and then it's the next.
I would
day
say the closest thing to that whole album to right now was, we don't gotta talk about it right now, but that Jay-Z verse on Meek Mill. That was like the crazy.
But it came and went.
Right.
You know, like think about what's a semester? 3 months.
Yeah, like 3-4 months.
So like think about that, and then you had not only that. So you had Midnight Marauders, then you had Wu. Then you had, I believe at the same time, for some reason, Nas was still in the zeitgeist. I know it came out earlier.
And then you also had Gangstar, Hard to Earn.
Yeah, it was so many ridiculous joints coming. Everything was classic, and it was at the same time Jordan was at his apex. So you got to think about, this is why I keep saying the 90s as the greatest.
Bring him into this
But no, it was like all of these things culturally are all part of the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Knicks are dope. You know, the only reason they didn't win because of my squad. Yeah. But the fact is that wasn't even a knock. But it's true. Didn't we say earlier? Facts are facts.
So let me flip what you just said a little on its head, because I'm a cat from Atlanta, Georgia, right?
Yeah.
1993.
Yeah, I want to hear your perspective.
1993, Atlanta, Georgia. Everything was a complete opposite in the South of what you just said, right? Mind you, I'm a cat going to Magna Senior High. In the band, and me and like 4 of the dudes in the entire high school was listening to East Coast hip hop, right? Yep. Mind you, I was in the Splack Pack. I would listen to MJG and 8 Ball. I listened to all that shit, like all that shit from like.
Real quick, what does that mean, Splack Pack?
Splack Pack was a group out of Atlanta. They literally made strip club music long before Lil Jon, right? That was, come on, it ain't Splack Pack, you get it? You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, splacking, packing, you know what I mean? Anyway. And then, we would listen to Luke, we listened to MJG, 8 Ball, we listened to, Ghetto Boys. But you got to understand, like, me being in a band at the time, my palette for music was a little bit more open than the average cat. So me and like 4 or 5 other dudes, we was listening to Wu-Tang. We was like the only dudes in our entire high school that actually went out and bought Wu-Tang on a cassette. You know what I mean? So cassette, we were listening to, Nas was one of my favorites. Still my favorite hip hop group, even over Outkast, is A Tribe Called Quest. Reason why, Tribe Called Quest would tell you their favorite group was Outkast. And guess where Outkast from? From ATL. Right? So if you're thinking about like Atlanta in 1993, Atlanta's almost coming in trying to figure out who it is in terms of hip hop, because you had East Coast, you had West Coast. Nobody's paying attention to the South, right? So you got like these small groups kind of bubbling up or whatever.
Hello, my brothers.
Right? But at that moment, I was listening to Nas, the Nuns, which is from the West Coast, the Hieroglyphics crew.
Oh, Hieroglyphics.
The West Coast, the Far Side. I was listening to the Artifacts, which is out of New Jersey. I was listening to Bush Babies, which is out of Bushwick, right?
Tings,
so
Tings go run weed.
Yeah. So you talking about a cat like me is searching for this music before the internet, right? I'm a huge hip hop fan. I love all hip hop.
Where did you get it from?
Where I get that from? I love music. You know, if you're being in a band.
No, I mean, like, was it a record store? Like,
where I actually got the hip hop from. So you got this one called Third World. My sister went out and bought the Wu-Tang cassette for me from, like, I think Third World, or like at the time, which was like Turtle Records in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, we had Blockbusters, and you had a bunch of little local joints, right? Real story. I was like in this one record shop by Greenbrier Mall looking for the Fugees album at the time, right? The Score. So I walked in, I'm like, yo, so you got that Fugees? He like, Fugees? I'm like, yeah. Like, Refugees, Fugees? He like, nah, bro, I ain't got no Fugees. I got that Splat Pack. You want that? I'm like,
sound like an interlude off of Outkast.
The what? The Fugees? Nah, I got that Splat Pack. I ain't got no Fugees. I got that Splat Pack. But he had Gangstar, he had Nas, which is weird. He didn't have the Fugees, but he had Nas, he had Gangstar, he had the Splat Pack, right?
It was probably coming a couple hours later, thanks to Lauren.
Yo, straight up. So, you know, I'm just saying, like, that was my experience of those monumental albums of Midnight Marauders and Wu-Tang Into the 36 Chambers. Like, yo, it changed my life. Like, it saved my life. You know, lost my father at the time, so hip-hop overall saved my life creatively and like literally, you know what I mean?
Got you through the times.
Yeah, it got me through the times, bro. And those albums to this day, like I collect those on wax, and it's like, because you know a lot of hip hop was impressed on wax back then. Those shits like really opened me up as a creative, especially like I said, being a dude from the South, when a lot of cats from the South wasn't messing with that type of music, right? Yeah.
How did you connect with that? Being from the South, here in the East,
being an artist.
I mean, Midwest,
me being
not
an
that
artist.
different from the East, but like.
Well, I mean, for us in Chicago, the beauty is that we're in Chicago. Yeah. So I always say we equally, because we only had at the time Common and Twister,
right?
And then
Do or Die too.
They weren't.
Come on, man! You don't like Do or Die?
Nah, I mean one song. Name another Do or Die song. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like no. I mean, now you get into like, I mean, Do or Die was dope, but they got that one joint, you know, and I loved them because they were, you know, they were Chicago, you know, pull up in the CA, DI, double L, about the AC Ho, they peeped those, PI, MP. You know, they're talking about pimp shit, but it was like they got one joint, you know what I mean? And like, and then but Common was like, you talk about hip hop. Common was the cat that carries, and still to this day,
he carries the mantle.
Still carries the mantle, not just for Chicago hip hop, but for hip hop in a certain way.
Common had that epic battle with Ice Cube.
Yeah. But the fact is that being from the Chi, we're in the middle. You know what I mean? So I had the choice of East Coast hip hop, West Coast hip hop, Southern hip hop. You know, and that we didn't have a ton of MCs coming out of Chicago, so we had to go and find other cats from everywhere else. So I equally fucked with like NWA, West Coast, you know, Far Side, Hieroglyphics, like AD said, just as much as Nas, Tribe, Gangstar, just as much as Outkast, Goody Mo, you know, 8-Ball, MJG, stuff like that. Ghetto Boys coming from the South. Yeah, shit, you know what I mean? Like, so that's the beauty. I always thought that was such an advantage coming from Chicago, especially I saw that happen when I got to Howard, because that's why everybody likes Chicago, because we have the ability to kind of adapt to all of these other cities because of the fact that we had to, because in hip hop we only had one MC.
I mean, the first time I heard Electric, the first time I heard Electric Relaxation was the intro to Wayne's Brothers.
Really?
I was young. I didn't really know music like that.
That's
and I
ill.
heard it. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is this?
So the thing about what was so ill about Tribe is like they always
Linden Boulevard. Shout out.
Shouts to
and
Linden.
all of their music executions like was some kind of like jazz, like
Yeah.
that was like, and then the same thing about Gangstar. Like if you talk about Primo, like it was always some kind of like jazz kind of sound to it, right? But like if I talk about myself, like I was like mad young. And like my dad used to always watch Video Music Box, Ralph McDaniels, Uncle Ralph,
Yeah.
and he would
Uncle
throw
Ralph.
parties at the Ark, which is in East New York, right? And then that's where the shout out came from. He invented the shout out, in my opinion. Like it would be these parties, and I would go to my cousin's house too. Like my cousin lived downstairs from me, and like between my house and my cousin's house, like they was always watching Video Music Box. Ralph McDaniels was the
Uncle
man.
Ralph McDaniels.
Uncle Ralph McDaniels. Like he would be in this club, whatever. Oh, what's your name? My name is Moet. Right? And it's like, you want to give a shout out? Yeah, I want to give a shout out, blah, 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 blah. And then he would talk, like, he did this deep voice.
Yeah.
And he would get, oh, yeah, and this is the Wu-Tang
He was
Clan.
emceeing the whole shit.
Right? It's like Wu-Tang. I think he even produced Protect Your Neck. He was a part of
word?
the
Wow.
production of
Look at
Protect Your
that.
Neck. But, like, seeing Wu-Tang, like, I was mad young, kid. Like, I was so young. And I seen these dudes, it's like an army of them.
Yo, son, they were scary as fuck.
And they got
Yeah,
hoodies.
mad deep.
I'm gonna tell you,
Pause.
I was literally afraid of Wu when they first dropped, and it was like before you know, like when Ghost.
wasn't really
It was
a lot
like
of
60
groups like
cats.
that.
When
There
Ghost,
was a lot of
when
big
Ghost
groups like
still,
that.
when he just had the face
mask?
mask,
Yeah.
and you didn't know what he looked like, it was like, damn, like they were crazy because like Meth was like we have like the one whited out eye.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, what is these cats
the
on? And
way-
they're from like Staten Island, but you didn't know Staten Island. It was Shy Lynn. I was like, does that exist in New York? Is that a place? Like these cats came from space, son. Like seriously, they were like some
Mad
other niggas.
fatigues
and they were like hella like not violent, but they were just like intimidating. Yeah,
The
it was
thing
like,
about RZA that shows that he was a genius because you know he thought this whole thing out. But it's like it was gritty, but it wasn't really violent. I think the most violent thing they had like was swords in their videos.
right. They never had
But-
guns.
but
They never talked about any guns.
But that's why I loved about Wu-Tang because, again, I found out about them a little later in age. But I, growing up with my pops and my brother, I grew up on like martial arts film with Jackie Chan and like the fucking Wu-Tang Clan and like Drunken Master. So when I heard it in the music, I was like, yo, they taking this
The
shit
thing
and
about
flipping
Wu-Tang
it.
was so crazy is all of them was so different and they all was so nice.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, like I think, like I always talk about. So me and my cousin we always talk about like who's the like.
That's
lead
why
off-
we the
like-
Wu-Tang fucking
Power
podcast.
works. But like I always talk about like lead off hitters. I call them like lead off hitters. Like Inspector Deck sets the tone so well. Protect Your Neck. I smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser. Raise hell with the flavor. Like, I
that
always
shit.
ask, now I gotta ask this question. In y'all opinion, who had the best verse in Protect Your Neck?
The best verse in Protect Your Neck, because I thought you were going to say the best lead-off verse of who ever.
No.
'Cause I was going to say
we
you
could-
got
we could do
on.
that. We can do that too, but like Protect Your Neck, like because that was my first introduction to. Like they were just so raw. I've never seen nothing like this.
I mean, you know, like the basic side of me is like Meth because it was like I was
Meth came in hard.
because Meth was the lead off hitter to your point,
Yeah,
Rose,
for
about
sure.
like of Wu generally.
Absolutely.
So you first
Absolutely.
heard, you know, METHOD, man. So then I'm listening for Meth, you know, in Protect Your Neck when he's like, you know, oh, does he come in at move it on your left. Shit.
Oh, you talking about Protect Your Neck?
Yeah, Protect Your Neck when he comes in. But the point is that like I'm hearing that, so the basic side of me is always gonna be like because I was introduced to Wu through Method Man, so Meth to me is always gonna be their star, and then obviously Ray, Ghost, ODB, and you could run down the line. None of them are.
I don't know.
subordinate
I was
to
looking at
others.
the lyrics. They all come in, like you said, they all come in swinging their sword sharp.
Yeah.
So it's for me. I would go with ODB because he came differently.
Yo, you know what's so ill?
'Cause he
So
came
I
differently, so
I have a
fuck with
two-pronged
it.
approach on it. I think lyrically, I think the Genius had the best verse lyrically. Because if you listening, if you talk about where he was from, him and RZA, where they was from when they was on like Tommy Boy Records, and they was like Prince Rakim, and he was the genius. Oh, we love you, Rakim,
Yeah,
and like
we
that
love you,
style. And
Rakim.
now like they hard, and he's talking about these businesses, and like he's like got short arm. They got short arms and deep pocket. Like that was hard to me, but I felt like ODB was just so original. Like,
What about Ray? You like? I mean, yo.
oh man,
Oh.
I mean, Ray just Ray, right? Yo, I mean, true story. Right? I met that brother when he was on that, that
Yeah,
agency we
fine.
worked at. I'm not even a cat that like is even into like taking celebrity photos and shit, right? But I'm like, yo, Ray, I'm sorry, bro. we doing this right now.
And he was cool as fuck.
He was cool about it, yo. I'm like, yo, Ray,
you know Ray from Brownsville?
Oh, word?
Ray,
I think it's from.
oh, that's
no,
right. 'Cause,
Atlanta.
yo, in his verse, he said, they moved us. They moved to Cheyenne.
I'm just trying to take any Brownsville credit. I can. You know Riz is from Brownsville.
RZA and Jizza, right?
And ODB. No,
He's from
ODB
that
from
side.
Brooklyn.
That side.
Yeah.
But I didn't know Ray was from
Ray's
Brownsville.
from Brownsville, yeah.
Yo,
I think he's from
Ray-
like Langston Hughes or some shit like
I
that.
don't know, man. Ray in almost every verse just capture it. But,
Yeah.
Old Dirty is Old Dirty, too. You know what I mean?
Definitive
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
Ain't no
Oh,
father
Dirty
his
is
style,
raw.
man.
Like, that's
Ain't no
what I love
father his
about
style.
it.
Like,
Yo.
ODB.
Listeners, email us or add us and let us know what you think when you go back and listen to it, because that's a great point, because I'm not even thinking.
Honestly, this is a good point for social. I think if we
had the
post on
best verse
social,
on Protect Your Neck.
who had the
I don't,
yeah.
I don't care who you feel is the best. Raekwon is my favorite, and RZA is my favorite.
Ghostface
But-
Mock.
I know who you like.
I can't go.
But I'm just saying. But Protect Your Neck. That first, because they all were so ill, and you could like literally rank
Swing
them.
in your hood like the neighborhood Spider Man.
Right,
Yo,
right,
come on, like-
But to me, the verse that killed it was off Wu-Tang Forever. The intro to when you guy came in off of the first what's the first joint off Wu-Tang Forever, the first release.
Triumph.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was it Triumph?
Yeah, Triumph.
Was it Triumph?
Yep.
I think- Okay.
Yeah,
No,
Triumph.
but then
That was the-
Inspector Deck. He started bomb atomically, dropping these.
Oh, that wasn't you guy?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
No,
you're right. It
that
wasn't
was
you guy.
definitely. That
Oh,
was definitely
shit, yeah.
Deck. That's what I'm saying. Like dropping these philosophies and hypotheses.
Well, the first joint was
mockeries, literally perform armed robbery. Like what?
Rude Revolution
And
was the first
Capadonna,
joint
Capadonna is my third favorite Wu-Tang man.
off the album. Now I was just pulling the album up.
Was it the first joint? I don't think that's the.
You're talking about Triumph.
I'm
Right?
talking about the
Triumph.
single,
You're
first
talking about
release, the
Triumph.
single.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
single.
that's
But-
probably Triumph. Yeah,
Triumph.
yeah.
Like Wu-Tang,
Capadonna. Woo.
Capadonna was so ill. Like he body
Yeah,
ice
that's
cream.
what I'm saying. They got cats coming off the bench
But
that were
Real-
nicer than 90% of the
real
niggas
quick
in
though,
hip hop at the time.
just to go,
100% of
just,
niggas
just to
today.
go back to,
But it's all good.
but just to go back to Protect Your Neck. One of the things that caught me on that song, even in the beginning, was like, "Yo, man, you dialing into the radio. What do you want to hear? Yo, I want to hear that Wu-Tang. Protect it." It was like Wu-Tang again and again. Yo,
See, but
it's
that's
just like
the thing now.
setup
That's the
to
difference
song.
now. It's like,
That was that radio.
We're losing a lot of ancillary cultural things.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to any not interstitial, shit, man. When you listen to hip hop albums back then, a lot of it had to do, like a lot of the interludes were based on like dialing into radio shows,
Yeah.
talking to the DJ, getting requests.
Well, no,
all of
skits
that's
and
gone
period.
now.
Skits,
But I'm saying,
period.
but that was based off reality of literally dialing in the radio stations. You don't dial in anymore. You don't request anymore. You don't
Everything's
hear
on
what
demand.
the streets is. So it's top down now versus bottom up.
That's
You
real.
know, and the
That's
bottom
real.
up was when we had control of the culture. Now the culture is gone because it's coming top down. Oh, I don't know. Ariana Grande and fucking Kodak Black just did some shit together, and this is going to be hot now, and thus you guys have to constantly hear it. I know on Latino culture, it's still bottom up.
Yeah.
So you're still getting Bad Bunny and
Who's
Ozuna
dope, by
and
the way.
cats like that.
saying.
Like you're still getting those cats coming up, and those are being pushed by your audience. But I feel like in hip hop now is top down because it's what the corporations want to push.
And to your point, that's why TRL was like the perfect show for like a teenager. Like
And
when it was
106
growing up, like
apart.
totally, like
106 apart.
and
Black
106
kid.
apart. But why I say TRL because I think
No, I know exactly.
yeah,
why.
exactly right. So
Yeah,
I
I
think that's
fuck
why it
with
was so
TRL.
that's why it was so powerful then.
Right.
But then trying to bring it back today, like like the relaunch last year, that's why it makes no sense.
Right.
You know what I
It
mean?
doesn't
Like
work. Or 106 in Park, maybe too.
But even then, 106 in Park to me was so dope because I saw two people who kind of look like me in a way. and I saw a bunch of kids who looked like me, very much so.
There was Jiggy. There was Jiggy.
Yeah, I'm not Jiggy.
Yeah, throwback jerseys on.
But that's what I'm saying though. So it was the kids informing the culture. We call in, we want this, we want Bow Wow, or whoever it was. It was the kids having the control. The customer had the control.
Yeah.
And then with that control, you were able to push the culture.
What I really liked about TRL was it was more diverse music. It wasn't, no offense to BT, but it was just more. It was more than just hip hop. It was like, to me, it was an equal playing field because you got hip hop, rock, pop, all fighting for the top spot.
Right.
And it's about votes.
And to not swear too far, but I enjoy that because I like learning new shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think as a culture, we need to separate from just like, only being around us.
Right.
Get acclimated to other people. Other cultures are doing other things.
I agree, but let's not forget that we popping right now too. And
Of course.
I think in a lot of
Of
ways,
course.
they try
Of
to
course.
make us forget that we're popping. Last thing I want to say is what this Wu-Tang thing is. Shame on you when you step up to the old dirty bastard. Straight from the Brooklyn Zoo. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we move on for this joint,
Old Dirty
any
Bastard, Dirty
any
and Stinky.
favorites from Midnight Marauders?
Oh, come on, man. Absolutely. Yo,
Just give me one.
again.
What you feeling?
Favorite song from Midnight. Shit. Let me. You know what?
Yeah,
I want to be fair. I want to look at the album.
Yeah, I don't
because,
remember
like,
the track list.
I mean,
I'll pull it up right now.
in terms of just like experiences, obviously the singles, Award Tour,
Award Tour.
you know, but like
Award
for
Tour.
me, it's like, I mean,
Suck is like
Electric
one of my
Relaxation, but like, yeah, Lyrics to Go. I used to wake up to that shit literally every day. You know, like with that Minnie Riperton joint, like, come on, dude. Like, that shit is so classic. But then you got other shit in there, like Stevie Biko, Suck, like you said, Midnight, We Can Get Down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yo.
everything on there was great. Everything on there was great.
Everything. And the thing about it, I'm gonna tell you how dope. I'm gonna tell you
It was a movie.
I'm gonna tell you
Yeah,
how
it
dope
was.
how dope Midnight Marauders is. Even Wu-Tang though, but like to Colfax one, like he said like when he was in college that like everybody's listening to that. That album got me through college like years later. Like still. Like I was on YouTube like doing papers at 2:00 in the morning listening to Award Tour. Right? And,
That's dope.
You know, Electric Relaxation. So I mean, in common too. Cause that's I think as I'm just saying, like all that shit got me through school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of, like, if we look at it from a creative perspective, Sucker is an insightful song. Because it's true insights, like who you gotta avoid in this life and how you categorize.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, and that's the thing. They were like, it was, I don't know. I mean,
I be hating sucker MCs and sucker.
Yep.
Like, come on. Like,
I just hope
posting
that,
like
I
they
hope that,
hard
I
when
hope
we
that
know
this
they
generation
damn
is having
card.
that same experience. of
That's a
classics.
social play.
I mean,
No, I'm
I
saying-
don't think you can though,
I
because
just hope you haven't. No, I think you
'cause
can. I just think. I mean,
missed the
like,
question.
it comes
My
too
bad.
fast and too furious.
What was the question?
I just
Sorry.
hope that this generation is having that same feeling of classics, where it's like, you know, where
They're not.
It comes too fast and furious, bro.
I think certain people do.
I think the criteria of classics have
but-
declined.
I 100% agree. The criteria for what a classic is
I was just
is
about to
too
ask,
high.
What's the example
that
of
I
a
don't
classic
think-
album in the last 2 years?
Damn.
Not Drake, not Kendrick.
Fuck.
Like, you know what I mean?
Classic
Yeah, but-
album in the last 2 years.
but I think to establish a classic, it has to be good today and tomorrow.
You need,
And-
you need
and-
at least
and there's a
3
lot of-
years to examine it.
No, I mean longer than that, because I'll tell you this.
I
Like,
was gonna say 5
I'll tell you one song in the culture that's gonna be a classic for all of us. You're gonna be 65 years
Sicko
old, and
Mo?
it's a random song, but you'll understand why I say this.
Mo Bamba?
Sicko mode.
Maybe, but I think about literally "Adorn" by Miguel. Right? You're gonna be at a cookout 15
Okay.
years from now, 20 years from now. You're gonna hear that song and be like, "Oh,
Dawn
okay."
came out like 6 years ago.
That's
That's your point. Yeah,
That's
bad.
my
I see what
point.
you're
Like,
saying.
it's a song that you still listen
Yo.
to today. You're like, all right, that's cool.
Yo,
I
real
enjoy
quick,
it. And you're gonna enjoy it
though.
20 years from now.
That Obama joint,
Bro, it's my-
son. I was at Travis Scott concert.
Yeah, that shit was lit.
Son, the first time I ever felt the garden shake, it was when Obama came
Mo
on.
Bamba. Yo, I be talking to people.
First
at this
time,
job
I was
about-
like, "Yo, what's that vibrating?" I
You
was
know
like,
what it is?
Fuck.
It's just all right. Like that's what music has gone to. Is now it's a vibe. Like he
Yeah.
is replicating the beat, and it's like it's a vibe. So every time I hear it, I can't help but like go up and down. Like you know, my shoulders is moving. That's what I think makes. Mo
Can't
Bamba
help
dope.
but dance. You feel it?
Anyway, we talking about classics. Yo, Shout out to Chef
Drake
West.
gonna drop. Oh, you said outside of Drake, outside of Kendrick and Cole.
I'm just saying, like
outside of the people you would expect the classic
classic.
from.
We're talking albums, not singles.
I think
on like albums.
I think and people might not agree with me, but I think
Nipsey Hussle.
I think Schoolboy Q's Blank Face was a classic in my eyes. I think he told stories.
I gotta go back and listen to the whole
lyricism
thing.
to
But
it.
I think
the
right.
beats were good. It's always like on replay, like because for me to have a classic,
It's
all right,
full bodied.
you have to. It has to be full
like a
body.
nice
At
wine.
least have to like at least if you have 10
You gotta let it
songs,
air out for a little.
I have to like 8.
You
So
sip that. You like, all right.
I mean, I don't know, like how I could just spit off lyrics for Midnight Marauders, 36. Like, can cats do that nowadays?
I
it's
agree.
different though.
I think because the upload of music is just
It's too much. It's too
just
much out
too
there.
much. Like I think back those like we had A&Rs back in those days that said, no, these cats are talented. Like no, we are gonna put an entire movement behind them. Like this is a real product. That
You got the street team. You got everybody pushing.
Everybody's
stuff.
pushing this thing.
So sorry, I was just gonna say with that included, you got the street team. It's like as you walk down the street, as you go to a concert, you're seeing, hearing, and feeling the song.
Yo, when AZ came out on what's that AZ album? I don't know. Like I remember everywhere between East New York and Brownsville and Crown Heights, I seen like the little AZ
the poster boards
slapped
and all that.
up against some wall or something like, or some Chinese restaurant or some shit like that. So I mean, it's just shit is just not like that. No more.
So Koufax ain't see it, so we can't talk about Carlito's Way, but that was a good fucking movie.
I was just disappointed with that sequel.
I don't even count that.
That was terrible. Yeah, Diddy was
The
in it.
remake
That's terrible.
with Diddy?
Terrible.
Diddy
Terrible.
stop back.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt about Belly when the game was in it.
Whoa, they did another Belly.
Yeah, they did a second Belly. Yeah.
I don't even want to hear about that.
Belly
Actually,
is a straight up
I think
classic.
it's 15. Let me look it up. I think 15 years since Belly came out.
1999 or 98.
Yeah, it's almost 20.
Damn. Yo, that's
opening
gotta
scene, bro. That
honestly,
opening scene.
that's gotta be the best opening scene in a movie. And to me, the intro to Belly was so important because if you look at
Oh no, Tiana!
Yo,
like
the thing
every
about Belly-
man has had that situation.
I thought when I was younger, I thought Nas was
I
so
can't comment
cool
on
in
that.
Belly, and I look at it and I was like, damn, he's a terrible actor, but I still love him.
Yeah,
Yo, I thought he
but the
was
film was fire though.
but no, real quick,
We're gonna go to Africa, T.
The whole continent. We're gonna go to the whole continent. It's like 30-something countries in Africa.
52 countries.
Big as fuck. We're going
my
to
man,
Africa.
my man DMX was in Jamaica Estates chilling.
Yeah,
Chilling.
yo,
But
him,
what's crazy is Nas doubled down on that shit. If I ruled the world, he's like open every cell in Attica and send them to Africa.
Africa.
I'm like, nigga, you still just talking about a whole big ass continent. Like, goddamn.
Yo, the one thing I love about the intro is that the way they lit that and shot it
Hype was,
to
yeah.
me
Hype,
fucking
man, yeah.
led to how they shoot
That was hype at
black
its hype,
people
at its most
and
hype.
like
Yeah.
if you look at Issa Rae's show
yeah,
when they was in the club when you see like black people in a dark space for the film addicts
the
out
light-
there
the
you have to
lighting.
light it a certain
Yeah.
way so that the skin glow and everybody
Yeah.
looking popping.